Welcome to the Shintaro Higashi show with Peter Yu. Before our main show, I just want to give a quick shout out to our official sponsor, Levon. Thanks for your support, Levon, and I hope you guys enjoy the show.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Shintaro Higashi show with Peter Yu. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about judo drills, drilling in judo, what things you can do for it to be fun, safe, all that stuff, improve your judo game.
I think, so like, in a traditional judo school, there's not much not many drills. You do standing uchikomis and then moving uchikomis and then, right?
Three-person
randori.
uchikomi, nagekomi, that's it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of, you're bringing some modern drills into the game now, right?
Modern drills,
yeah.
And this some of the stuff that I sort of created on my own, right?
Yeah.
For instance, like a grip fighting game.
Okay. How does that work?
So right versus right.
Yeah.
You don't want to reach with your right hand, right? It's left hand, right? Left hand sleeve, left hand lapel, and then you move on. Those are the first 2 points of contact, generally. And then every now and then you put two hands on at the same time, sleeve and lapel at the same time.
Yeah.
Right? So those are the main 3 points of contact that you want to gain first.
Right.
If you reach out and grab that sleeve, then you can put the second hand on the lapel, right? So you give a point for each. You touch the sleeve 1 point, touch the lapel 1 point, and then two hands on at the same time is also a point.
Yeah.
Okay. Notice I said left hand sleeve, left hand lapel.
Yeah.
My left hand goes to your left hand sleeve. My left hand goes to the left hand lapel. Okay.
Uh,
Not right hand to their
yeah.
sleeve, right hand to their lapel, because that's the wrong thing to do if you're grip fighting right side versus right side.
Right.
Okay? So if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you should look up Grip Fighting Judo 101, Shintaro Higashi on YouTube, right? Now you know what I'm talking about. So now that's a game, right versus right. I have a specific goal. You have a specific goal. And now we're going to play, okay? Now, when you do this kind of coordination drill, it's much safer. It preserves your hands too, right?
Yeah.
Because you're just coordinating, touching the sleeve and the lapel, right?
Yeah.
So you have a left hand is sort of offense first, right hand's defense first, So now you're playing this game, touching, and now you could sort of game it a little bit. And there's strategies that come from this game, making it look like I'm going to go for that sleeve and then touching that lapel, right? Making it look like I'm left hand coming and two hands at the same time, right? Baiting this lapel, as they're coming, I take a step back, I parry it, and then touch my left hand on the collar.
Right.
Just like you would in grip fight.
Yeah.
And then you kind of make it a game where it's like, hey, guys, play this back and forth, right? If you circle to your left, that sleeve hand and lapel hand's going to get closer, right? Make sure this side's defended, come back and forth, play side to side, like parry the hand as it comes to you, and then it becomes a game, But the most important thing, doing a drill like that, is letting everyone know, like, hey, man, this is a game for skill acquisition. It's not a win-lose game. It's not a win at all cost thing. If your hands are flying, you poke someone in the eye, I'm going to ask you to sit out because you're missing the whole point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We did this the other day. I was like, I cannot stress this enough, right?
Really? You have to tell people that.
With this. And then the second game in, one guy like was flying with his hands and poked the guy in the eye. And I was like, listen,
man.
You have to sit out. Sit out.
Yeah.
Because that's not the point of the game. We're not trying to get a champion here, right? People get overly competitive with this stuff. It's like, why are you getting competitive? The more competitive you get, right, the less you're going to learn here.
Right.
Because you're trying to slow it down and find ways to game this thing. You got to look for strategy. You have to devise strategies on the fly. And if you're already a pretty good grip fighter, you kind of already know the strategies. You know what I mean? So like you're kind of doing it in real time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this is an example of a game. That's the right versus right. You can do the same thing right versus left. The most important initial hand is going to be that collar, right?
Yeah.
So protecting it, touching that collar hand, right? Faking, parrying it, touching that hand, right? As the hands come in, you parry with the other hand and put that hand on. It's just like a quick back and forth game, like kind of like a warm-up game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So you do, when do you do this?
In the beginning.
In the beginning?
I use it as a warm-up, right?
I see.
This is better than doing jumping jacks or jogging around the mat,
Yeah. I see.
And if you use this as sort of a warm-up drill, it's like, all right, guys, goal right now is not to win or gain points or rack up any of this stuff. It's just to get moving, right? Of us are warm. We came from our jobs. We were sitting on the subway, right? Like it's nice and easy, as if you're like walking out the door for like light cardio. Long time. You're gonna go for a walk on Saturday, right? The first mile, you're gonna jog.
Yeah.
13-minute mile, right?
Yeah.
So you start slow, nice and this is the pace that I want you guys to do it. touch, here, move, back and forth, right? And then don't escalate it. Bang. Okay, all right, pick up the pace a little bit. 3 or 4 rounds in, people can start moving a little bit more,
Right.
right?
What
But
else?
that's
What
a
else
good-
do you do?
So I'll do this game with the hand where you try to break the person's balance.
Oh
by
yeah, I
pushing
love that
them.
game.
Yeah, that's a great game.
It's okay.
So that's a good drill. That's like a beginner, like a warm-up game too.
Right.
Like giving the right amount of push and pull at the right time.
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know what game I'm talking about, you're standing directly in front of each other, arm's length. So you can reach out and touch the other person's shoulder. Right? And you can only move your hands back and forth, like you get a push-up motion.
Yeah.
And then you could slap each other's hands, high five, right? And then try to make them take a step forward or backwards.
Yeah. So your feet are planted. If you're the first person to move their feet,
And like
loses.
even by like a centimeter.
Yeah.
And again, this is not a competitive game. If you're in the dojo and someone goes nuts doing this thing, that person gets a flag. Right?
Mm.
There's like a orange flag that like gets signaled like, hey man, you have to stop being overly competitive. Right?
It's a good way to kind of figure out how people are, I guess, in general, personality wise.
Yeah,
Who
yes.
gets more competitive. Yeah.
And then like making it look like you come in and then they go to push back and then you release.
Right.
You know, and then there's other like levels of this game too. Like, so going and then pulling one hand back, right? That kind of generally like knocks and tilts them a little bit. And then you go 2 hands, things like this. It's a fun game. It really is a fun game.
Right.
Even like sumo is a great game.
Oh, you play sumo with adults too?
No, I mean, I have, but it's very dangerous, right? So you got to kind of do it in a way where it's like, you got to like really be like, all right, man, like this is not, a competitive thing. I wouldn't do it if I were you guys.
Just with,
I have done it in like a fun setting.
With kids, it could be fun. You're saying
it's dangerous for kids too. It's all dangerous. But we have a bunch of drills there. Okay.
Yeah.
So now you could do things like, all right, if you're touching sleeve, lapel, right?
Yeah.
And then 2 hands on, right, first, right. And if you accumulate 5 points or whatever it is, then what you want to be able to do is we know that you can put your left hand on collar sleeve pretty good, right?
Yeah.
And now what you want to do is touch their back with the right hand. And then when you get that, it's over. So now you can really gamify it, right? First to 5 with the points. And then once you rack up those 5 points, which means you're able to put the initiative on first, right? So theoretically, if you're gripping the gi, you have that gi, right?
Right.
So now it's all about the hand over the back, right? And then if I have to emphasize this again when I do this drill, if someone closed fist throws their hand over and punches someone in the ear, you're getting sent home. You're doing 2 of those, you're out of the dojo. You're out, no questions, right?
Yeah.
So, people respond to that too, right? And then I'm walking around, hey man, relax, bring it down, don't go so crazy. Why are you going nuts? And I'll single them out. I'll say their name, hey, and then it's like, hey man, it gets to a point sometimes I gotta pull them aside, like, listen, man, if you can't do this safely, you can't do this at all.
Yeah.
And people usually respond to that.
Right.
So
these drills are so far have focused on grip fighting. Do you have drills that address other aspects of judo, like maybe the throws? Yeah.
Let's start off 50-50 position and let's gain position, right?
Yeah.
So like cutting the sleeve, squeezing this, pushing, pulling, faking, right? Cutting this side, cutting this hand. So the goal is 2 versus 2, 50-50. The goal is to take the hand off and force 2-on-1, right? Without disengaging your hands. So you have a sleeve and a lapel, right versus right.
Yeah.
The goal is to take one of their hands off without letting go with your hands. That's a great game. We do this shit all the time,
Right.
And that's a great game to like understand position and how to take the hand off. And then you could introduce like, okay, you could throw feint. But the
like
moment someone hooked on a soto, I'm like, Johnny, what did I say? No attacking, right? And assholes will throw a soto gari in there. And then it's like, listen, you have to listen to me, man. This is a safety thing. If you did that and you tip them over, and there's an issue with space.
Yeah.
If we have 40 guys in the room and it's a small New York City dojo with New York City rent, there's only 1,000 square feet of space.
Yeah.
So if we're all doing this game at once, and if one person gets caught on soto and he like falls, it's like no big deal, but he lands on someone else's leg, that person's getting injured.
Right. Yeah.
That's why everybody has to follow the rules. Oh yeah, no, it's not a big deal. I got this hand off and I went Ochi, ha ha. No, because you do it, that person does it, that person does it. If 3 people in the room do it, now all of a sudden it's chaos.
Right.
You can't
Right.
do this drill. And what is the alternative? We're gonna have 8 guys on the mat doing this drill at a time, and everyone's gonna stand
That's
outside.
boring. Yeah.
No, we can't have that kind of downtime too much. So everyone
Yeah.
has to be engaged at the same time in a safe way.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then right versus left, similarly, you're trying to gain position. What is the winning position? Right? My frame's better, and then shoulder turn. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Stronger pulse, shoulder turn.
Yeah.
So now we're playing that game. And then, you introduce like feints, stuff like
Uh-huh.
this. You could feint, and then another one like this. You could feint and snap them.
Oh.
Right? But this is a little bit later in the practice where it's like you're warm. You don't want to
Warm,
snap
yeah.
somebody down and they've been sitting all day
Right.
in office. If you do that to me, I'll throw my back out.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm injured for a week. I can't do anything for a week. So
Why? You just got hurt?
no. If I throw my back out, before,
Oh.
if I throw
I
my
see what
back
you
out,
mean.
dude, it's
Hypothetical.
like 2 or
Yeah.
3 days I'm immobile.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
very important. So you're like adding stuff onto it, and then you try to
Yeah.
gamify it, and
Yeah.
then it's not like a rote repetition like
It's a game.
uchikomi. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're playing this game of like trying to improve position. Like there's a back and forth, there's a goal. And then
Mhm.
you're doing it in sort of a non-cooperative combative way where there's conflict, right?
Yeah.
Without the risk of getting thrown.
Yeah.
So if someone
Yeah.
improves position, right? Like they're gaining position right versus left, and your shoulders are being turned. Normally, the first reaction is like, oh shit, I got to get out of here.
'Cause
I'm
I'm
about
gonna
to get
get thrown,
thrown.
yeah,
And then their
yeah.
hips go back, they get defensive.
Yeah.
They're thinking about doing a shitty drop set. Now you do a bailout throw, right? But because there's no throwing,
Yeah.
you could
You
stay
can
in the
really,
pocket and try
yeah.
to fight back for position,
Yeah.
right? And then that's when someone goes for a tile, and then I will yell at that person
Yeah.
because you're not getting the point of the drill, right?
Yeah.
It's okay to get out gripped, and then there's just regular old grip fighting.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
Right.
more intense. You probably should be warm by then,
Mm.
right? And then, you
I
do
see.
like a 3-person uchikomi where you do an ochi and then you try to drive the person to the other end of the mat,
Mm.
that kind of
Yeah.
thing. Or when you're taking it, you're kind of just doing this kind of a shifting, countering ochi thing. So the guy gets a feel of like keeping yourself stabilized through that drive.
Right.
So that's another drill that I really like to do with some of these guys. It depends who's in the room too. Like
Yeah.
the white belt's not really going to get much out of that because
Yeah, they gotta learn the basics first.
yeah, but if we got like 5 or 6 Ochigari guys and they want to go into a competition or something, that's the drill that we might do.
Yeah.
Just based
So it
on
seems like it's more like your drills are more like close to to randori in a way, but like you're trying to simulate a lot of these situations that arise during a competitive match or randori
yeah.
in a safe way.
Yeah.
Because just doing uchikomi, you don't get exposed to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And
it's
yeah.
not really a drill. I said drill, but these are judo
Yeah.
games, right?
Yeah.
Because with a game, there comes an objective, right? And there's
Yeah.
some kind of resistance, and you have to
Mm.
systematically, tactically, like overcome these resistance and what's the word? Not hazards, but obstacles.
Obstacles. Yeah.
And then you take throwing out of it, now it's a lot safer.
Right. Right.
Right. And then, obviously like Randori is a game, the Wilds is a game, but then you limit some of the stuff, right? All right, we're going to
Yeah.
start in half guard today or leg extraction position, or one person starts, or you could do A man, B man, or A woman, B woman, to be, or A, whatever you identify with, B, whatever you
Yeah.
identify with, right? Where it's like person A does offense, person B does defense. Stuff
Oh,
like
you do that
this.
too? Like it's
Not
more
often.
similar?
Not
I
often,
see.
because now all of a sudden it's a little bit more dangerous because the offensive person feels like, oh, I should be able to throw this guy.
Okay.
Yeah, but that is a game that you can play.
Right.
And then obviously the regular drills of like, all right, guys, grip up, person A, right? Feint, advantage, 2 or 3 combinations. Feint,
Yeah.
advantage, 2 or 3 combinations. Or try to gain advantage right away is difficult because they're all not going to let you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you show something, they're reacting to that initial threat.
Mm.
And then you gain position, right? Whether it's like, all right, locked up 50-50, I show a turn throw, you throw your hips back, I snap the head down and I cut the hand. Now I'm winning position.
Uh-huh.
And now I'm going to do a combination, whether it's like Ochi time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So that is a good drill to be able to do.
Right. Right.
So it's
I
like
see.
fake, improve position, 2 or 3 moves. Fake, whatever that I just said, and then 2 or 3 moves.
Do you usually show like exactly what to do, or do you just let people
I'll show
do?
examples.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, guys, let me
Okay.
show you an example. Inside position, right versus left. Okay.
Right.
We're dead even here. Gaining the position to this winning position is very difficult because he's pressuring down on my collar
Mm,
head. So I'm going to fake a turnto and fake a Tanya Toshi. He
I
pulls that
see.
leg back to not get a Tanya Toshi.
Yeah.
And that's my opportunity to throw this hand up and shelf it on the collar and then pull that sleeve. So now I'm in winning position.
Mm-hmm.
And now the combination I might do is also Ocho Sono. Quick two-step combination. So now I'm going to show it. Even, bang, boom, boom, boom. That's a thing that you can do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't have an Ocho Sono.
Right.
Maybe you want to do right versus right.
Uh-huh.
Maybe you're a Tayo person.
Yeah. Yeah.
So fit those combinations for what you like to do. Everyone should know what they like doing. And everyone who's taking this class right now probably should have an idea of what technique goes with
Yeah.
what. And then I always say, if you have no clue what I'm talking about,
Just do.
pick a black belt or pick a whatever it is, and then they're going to
Yeah.
guide you, or just drill whatever you know, which
I
is
see.
okay most of the time because you have guys who just started judo.
Right. Right.
When I say it like that, people get it, right?
Yeah.
And then I make a basketball analogy always.
Which is.
It's like you fake the shot, guy jumps up, you run around him,
Uh-huh.
right?
Just like, yeah, that very similar to
Yeah.
how it works in judo. Yeah.
Maybe fake shot, he goes, and then you try to go right, he goes that way, and you cut back and go this way, and then
Eh.
maybe you pass the ball sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I always say, like, every single sport has this, not unique to judo or any other
Yeah.
sport. Tennis, that corner, and then you
And then
bring it back to the other
yeah.
side. Forehand, backhand, forcing that backhand on the person.
Yeah.
Shifting over here, and then you misdirect, right? So these misdirection stuff, these feint into certain things, all these things happen in every single sport ever.
Mm-hmm.
Football, think, handoff, right?
Yeah.
Guy fakes the handoff and goes that way, and everyone thinks that guy has the ball, and then you shoot it, throw it somewhere
Right.
else. I mean, so yeah, that kind of thing.
It's so you're saying we shouldn't just focus on the throws themselves.
I mean,
Like,
you can,
always,
but
all
everyone
the
focuses
context.
on
Yeah.
that. And then if you overly focus on that, you lose it. And we probably don't do as much focus on that kind of a thing. We probably should also,
Yeah.
because it's a balance of both.
Mhm.
But I really want to emphasize this side of judo more than like the actual just doing taio 1,000 times in a day and doing 100 throws.
Right.
Because if you can't get the entry or the setups or the context of it, you're never going to get.
Right. Right.
That way, little by little, over time, you can understand the general strategy and then hone in on making your individual throws better over time.
Yeah.
So that's my sort of philosophy / approach always. And it's safer that way. Because if I am forcing Osotogari every single time and then slam it into that knee and slam it into the guy over and over as hard as I can, and their initial attack is good, like you really want like a guy that's been doing that, doing judo with a guy that's only been drilling Tanya Toshi,
Yeah. Yeah.
figure out how go
Right.
try to slam each other. It just doesn't work that way. So contextual judo, positional judo, that's the stuff that I'm really, really, I'm always trying to push that.
Right. It makes sense.
And then you can it becomes more of a game.
Yeah.
You could do games like this, like feinting, advantage. And when you have two hands advantage, pull their head down and make their hands touch the floor. That's a little bit more like intense.
Yeah.
Right. Or even same idea, like gripping, out gripping. Once you get out gripped, the person's snapping the head down and like gaining position, showing face. And the person losing position has to do a bailout throw.
Oh, you even like put that in the bailout throw into the game.
So that's a drill that I like doing a lot with these guys, and you got to alternate between drops, senagi, tomonage, and sumi or whatever it is, because if you just do the same one bailout throw all the time, it's easy to anticipate it and choke them. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a great game that I like, or that's more of a drill.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's not like you're going for the hardest tomonage of your life or hardest senagi.
Right.
You're just feeling what it's like to be losing in position and doing an attack off of that losing position to get out of there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you get practice. And then you'll catch a lot of guys with this too.
Yeah.
And then the person taking it knows it's coming So that drop is a little bit less dangerous.
Uh-huh.
And it's okay if the throw doesn't work because the goal, the objective is to get out of there.
Yeah. So the point is to expose your students in a lot of these situations without the risk of injury. Yeah. Because
So
you traditionally people would experience all of this through randori,
yeah,
right?
worst
But
idea ever.
that's how it used to be. Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, there was some interesting ideas for you guys to play around with
Yeah.
at your dojo. Anything else?
Let's try to put timestamps in there. So bang, bang, bang. So people could like scroll through it and save it. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Should we make Greg?
Uh,
Should we make Greg?
we can. Yeah, of course. If yeah, I feel like a lot of people wanted that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the timestamp without the timestamps, it's like I tried to
Yeah.
watch a podcast video the other day with no timestamps. I got like 3 minutes in, and I was like, yeah,
Yeah, it's right now. Maybe I need to find a better way, but because I do get automatic transcription, but someone has to, create chapters
uh,
basically. But we'll talk. We'll
yeah.
talk.
All right, so
All right.
games and all that stuff. Have fun doing it. Tag me
Yeah.
if you're doing a fun game on Instagram, guys. We spread judo.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know,
yeah.
put it out there. Put content on the internet. Share it. It's a funny. Make memes.
Yeah.
You know?
Make memes about Shintaro.
No, don't make memes about me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so tag us if you guys have cool like judo videos or drills, ideas, games, then yeah, we'll share them on our platform too.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you guys. Bye.